Alright, it is 8:30. I am out the door. I woke up at 7:30 today, which was really nice. It gave me like half an hour more to just kind of chill and take my time with my morning routine, and I'm still out the door in very nice time. So this was really enjoyable. I actually went to bed way too late yesterday. The editing took much longer than anticipated, so I gotta figure out how to speed up that process. One of those things being not messing up when talking as much. So I'm anticipating it's gonna be a pretty exciting day at work. Yesterday I only really managed to work on the actual thing I wanted to progress for like 2 to 3 hours, and I still got pretty far. So I'm expecting to be done with that today and get on to the actual onboarding and implementing it. The thing is, this project is pretty tight, and I am going on a snowboarding trip the 21st. It is currently the 12th, I think. So I really gotta get my shit together, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. This onboarding stuff is planned to be done Friday, which means I kind of want to have it done tomorrow, Wednesday, so we can test it Thursday, find potential issues, and then actually have it ready Friday. So yeah, I gotta get my speed on today and try and finish it. Office building is looking nice this morning with the Christmas tree. Right, here's my setup. All right, so I'm in the door at 8:50. And my morning routine usually consists of getting something to eat, a cup of coffee, and just going through my emails while I'm eating. All right, it is like 4:30 p.m. now. Everybody's left me. I give an insight of what kind of happens throughout the day. You can see my Git commit history here. I think what I've been doing today, it's kind of like, honestly, after doing so many things during the day, you kind of lose track of what has happened. So it's really fun to look back through your commit history and kind of see what has been going on. So specifically what's been happening is I've been doing some fixes with logo. Basically, ignore how ugly these websites are. When testing, you kind of end up building the ugliest websites you can. But what I've been doing is for logos here, when you want to inject it into a live website, it usually only renders like either the text logo or an image logo, right? So the issue is, of course, don't know in the onboarding if the user is gonna have a text-based logo or an image-based logo. And because of that, I can't publish either of them on the published website. So I need to include both. So right now for templates, it's gonna include both and then hide one of them by default. And then if you upload a text logo, it's gonna show that. If you upload an image logo, it's gonna show that. Other than that, I cleaned up some form settings, having those fit the whole font you're gonna pick, and I also just wrapped up some button stuff. So this is kind of what my process looks like. And I recently added this Code Rabbit, which is an AI that will automatically review the code for you. And since we have like 3-4 people coding here now, it's really nice for the AI to kind of catch the early mistakes before it comes to my table to review. Usually I would go through like all the files changed. I don't have 6 here. Read through them, look for like mistakes. And right now you can see even on mine here, whoops, I forgot a to-do in there. Unlucky. But even on my pull request here, the Code Rabbit AI will look through the code and like see if anything's wrong. So while it's not perfect, it's a really good way for the junior developers to kind of get an idea of the initial faults they've made without having to wait for me to review it. Because sometimes if I have a lot on my plate, it'll take a few days or even a week for me to be able to review their code. And this way they can like fix the obvious mistakes as soon as they submit it, instead of having to wait for a week and then forgetting kind of what they were doing. And also it saves my time because I don't have to review it, point out the obvious mistakes, and then review it again when I fix that. So I'm really quite happy with it. It's called Code Rabbit AI. If you do any pull request reviewing, I would definitely consider adding it. For now, I'm gonna go through this whole thing. All of the button stuff is gonna be reviewed, then pulled into production, and then I'm gonna work on, I'm gonna work on blog post typography. And then after that, fix the logo preview, and that's kind of it for the whole template injection. Just took a huge work block trying to fix the remaining things, but I feel like the more I fix one thing, I mean, you saw how it looked earlier, the more like stuff just gets on there. To start out with, I had like 4 tasks, and I was like, okay, once I finish these, I'm done. And now it's what, 12? And I just keep finding more stuff. So I've taken a break to work on the actual onboarding now, and it's starting to look pretty good. This is kind of the state we're in. Let me close this. So we got the name, gaming, kind of misspelled it, but whatever. Next step. Now, what you're gonna get here is with the style choice that I showed you guys earlier, you'll have a preview on the right side that'll reflect whatever choice you make over here on the left. So you choose like bold, futuristic, whatever, and then you go on to next step, which is colors. Choose a color. They're not gonna apply right now because that's what I'm supposed to do. Once you have chosen your color, you go to next step. Do you have a logo? No. Move on. And then here you can kind of choose the template. And all of these are gonna live render out here with the styling. But for now, I got it working in here. So we got the futuristic font and we got the like purple that we selected. Some of the templates need to be updated. You see this top bar here is still kind of yellow, which it is on the original template. There's definitely still some work to do like on the actual templates themselves. But you see, I get my website name and I also will get logo if I have one of those. Let's try and upload a logo here. There we go. Beautiful. Go into one of our templates and you'll see I have my logo up there. So really nice. But nonetheless, all of the injection stuff, there's still a few things that I need to fix, like the buttons. For example, hover a button, it keeps like the old color. So this one is not that bad, but if I go on like this one, you see, it's gonna take all my colors here, which is like green and purple. But when I hover this, you see it's gonna go goddamn pink, which is just, you know, rarely what you want. This all looks like shit, by the way. Very temporary templates. They're gonna be changed out with some that fits the whole new system better. But nonetheless, the button hover state needs to be considered for, because it's not one of the 3 colors you select in the color step. So I think I'm gonna take the primary color and just make it a little lighter and use that. So for now, I'm just gonna procrastinate that. We're gonna getting this guy out here to live render. Also, it's 5:30 p.m. and I still need to go to the gym. I have a leg day and then home. And I also gotta edit yesterday's video. So, that note, by the way, I did not manage to edit the first day, December 10th, well enough, and I really disliked the final product, but I ran out of time and I had to get it out. That's kind of what this whole thing is like. I gotta upload daily, so that was a huge, like, it was like a very vulnerable thing to do because I really wasn't satisfied with the product. But a project that isn't perfect is still 10 times better than a perfect project that never gets released. So I got it done and I'm happy with that. Hopefully, the video from yesterday doesn't take as long to edit, and the video from today, we'll see. I've recorded a fair bit and talked a bit about this project. Anyways, I'm gonna spend like 10 more minutes on this and then go to the gym. All right, I think I got to a nice point here where I can kind of end off today. Now, if you click like modern, for example, futuristic, whatever of these styles, it will reflect on the right side. Beautiful. And for the next one, if you choose a color here, now there's not really any accent colors used in this template. But if I go to a blue one, for example, and use that one, you'll see how it reflects. Go for a red one for good measure. See how that looks? Might be pretty. And yeah, huge success. Now, what are the last steps here? Of course, I have these remaining tasks I talked about where I just kept expanding. So there is logo size that needs to be kind of improved. And then there's the button hover state. Other than that, I think the whole template injection is kind of done. I need to republish all the templates and we need to get the new ones in there. We had a designer create a whole list of new templates that looks a lot better. So we need to get those live, and they also respond a lot better to this new theming kind of system we've set up. So yeah, I'm very happy with all this. Other than that, I think there's like a few kind of UX things in the actual onboarding, not the whole injection part, but the actual onboarding that needs to be solved. But we have a meeting with our growth consultant tomorrow, and he has really nailed down what our ICP is and what they kind of want. So we're gonna have a discussion with him about how to make the onboarding as fitting as possible for the ICP. So I'm really excited. It seems like tomorrow is probably realistic to have it done, which is mad exciting because we've set it for Friday. But I promise you there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna pop up tomorrow that I am not ready for, and that'll delay the whole project for a bit. So Friday is still probably realistic. Anyways, I think I've done enough work for today, so I will leave the office, go to the gym, and then I'll probably spend like another half an hour tonight if I manage to edit yesterday's video quickly enough. All right, deadlift time. So this was my first time deadlifting in like 4 months. I had one previous session where I did a bit of deadlifting, but that was very lightweight. My main focus here was just kind of keeping my core tight when I was pulling up, and that was really all I was focusing on this lift. I kept the weight still somewhat light, but enough to be challenging and forcing me to keep my core tight as to not round my lower back. Overall, pretty happy with it, and it felt good for my hamstrings, so we're keeping that in program. Next up is a seated hamstring curl, and this is just an amazing exercise for the hamstring. You can do these lying and you can do them seated. They kind of provide different results. I personally like the seated one a lot better. You can kind of hunch over and just hug onto the machine for dear life and pull through. This was a pretty hard set. Honestly, for a while it felt scary to put this much effort into exercises that used my hamstring, but I really pushed it here and it still felt fine. So I'm gonna try to put on even heavier weights next time. Gym session completed. I'm currently heating up my meal prep. I had a leg day today and it was actually really good. It's the first time in a while I've really been able to push myself. Like 4 months ago I tore my hamstring and that's been kind of like mentally on me. I really didn't want to like dig into that tear again. So I've been kind of taking it careful. And today I kind of pushed myself. I deadlifted a little bit heavy. Still kind of in the, you know, calibration phase where I need to kind of figure out how to do it correctly and to not hurt my hamstring. But I really did push myself on the seated leg curl, so I'm kind of happy with that. My plans right now are to eat my meal prep and then I'm gonna edit yesterday's video. And after that I'm gonna visit one of the goals I mentioned in my first video where I talked about wanting to meditate. So I'm gonna edit my video, then try and meditate for 10 minutes and then go into a bit of a work session. We'll see how it goes. It's not like I can't sit down and meditate for 10 minutes. I have a hard time seeing the effects of it. But I think I just gotta stick to it and hopefully that will change my perception of it a little bit. All right, I managed to finish today's editing in like 36 minutes. Sat down, chucked my meal prep and edited it away. Even managed to do some crazy voiceover. Crazy. Very simple voiceover. But it is higher production value than the first one. So I give myself credit for that. And it went over quite quickly. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Day one was kind of, I wasn't really happy to publish that video, but I just had to get it out. And this one is better. I enjoyed this one a little more. One thing I'm thinking about is like, this is taking a lot of time. I'm gonna keep doing it for like at least a week and then I might change to a different schedule where I kind of go every other day, which allows me to, instead of spending like an hour every day editing, I can spend one of those hours every other day planning a little better videos. So actually talking about some subjects like handling employees and stuff. I'm pretty young and I'm still learning a lot about it. And I think having to actually try and present my thoughts on the subject might make me learn a lot about it myself and even learn what my own thoughts on it is. Because while I am young, I have experienced a few interns and an actually employee joining the team and also that same employee quitting recently. So I would love to kind of look into that and try and see exactly why it happens. And that, I'm pretty happy with today's video. It is now uploaded. It's 10 p.m. so like 1.5 hours earlier than yesterday. Took like an hour total and I think today's video actually ended up being a bit better as well. It is shorter, but I think it's a good one.